Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I am Kevin Devecioglu, your host. I am welcoming you, episode 156. We are in season 5 in the American Business Podcast. Today's quote. As you know, we have a great partnership with missionstatements.com. Here is the quote of the day. At age 20, we worry about what others think of us. At age 40, we don't care what they think of us. At age 60, we discover they haven't been thinking of us at all. All right. Well, we have a special guest in the American Business Podcast. I'm going to invite our guest to our stage and let's get the conversation started. Hello, Ralph. Welcome to the American Business Podcast.
Hello. How are you, Kevin? Good to see you.
Good. Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us in the American Business Podcast. How are you? How is your week going so far?
My pleasure. Just great. Thanks very much.
Sounds great. Where are you connecting out of?
I'm in Chicagoland.
Nice. A beautiful place. Yes. One of my favorites.
Great. Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'm glad you joined us today, and I'm really excited to have you in the American Business Podcast. If that's okay, let's get started and let's learn about you and your background. As a start, would you please introduce yourself and your organization to our listeners and to our viewers?
Sure. My name's Ralph Velasco, and I am the chief drifter at Continental Drifter Experiences. For the past 18 or so years, I've been organizing and leading international tours around the world, everywhere from Antarctica to India, Cambodia, Bhutan, Nepal, Republic of Georgia, all over the world. And so that's been something that's been pretty fun, as you can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm real happy to be here.
Yes, thank you very much. And yes, it's very exciting to listen to you and learn about what you do. Yeah, this is great. Would you please tell us about your career journey? How did you get started? How your career journey has unfolded over the years?
Yeah, so I started out as a small business person from kind of day one. Went to Indiana University. You can see my sweater here. And I graduated with a small business degree. And I ended up getting my master's in international business and my BA in Mexico City. But I've owned several restaurants. I sold real estate. I was a marketing director for a division of a Fortune 500 company. I did a lot of different things before. I was a financial advisor from about 2005 to 2008. And then in 2008, we all know what happened. September, we had the financial crisis. And it was the day after the financial crisis that I decided to go full time doing my travel business, which I had been starting part time up to that point. So this was around 2001, 2002, 3, early 2000s, when what I would consider the dawn of digital photography. That's when people were starting to get these new digital cameras. I remember, I remember my first 1 megapixel Kodak
Yes.
Easy Share. Yeah. And so early on, I'd had my second restaurant at this time, and I had just opened up right before 9/11. So May of 2001, I opened up my restaurant, and then September 2011, or excuse me, 2001 is when we had 9/11, and my business was in downtown Chicago, and everyone thought that Chicago was going to be next. And so it was very, very difficult time to start a business. But that's when I got introduced to my first digital camera, and I started thinking perhaps people would pay me to teach them how to use their new digital devices, because no one really knew how to use them. The internet was fairly new, and so I thought about creating some walking tours where I could teach people how to use their cameras in the field.
Okay.
And so that's something that I decided. I was living in Chicago, had the restaurant. I decided I was going to sell the restaurant, move out to California, where I felt that the season for outdoor walking tours was much better than in Chicago, where the weather can get cold. And so I moved out there, became a financial advisor just to have some sort of a living income. But at the same time, I was creating these walking tours and teaching people sitting right across from their table how to use their new digital cameras. And that eventually morphed into what I'm doing today, 18 years later, which is hard to believe.
Yes, yes, that's really exciting, and yeah, I mean, thinking about Chicago, also, I had a chance to visit Chicago a couple of times. I also took the architectural tour, the boat tour. That was pretty cool. They also, told us about the stories of the buildings and the architectural style. That was pretty educational. I never forget it. It was a beautiful day, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
In seeing.
that's the number one thing to do in Chicago is that architectural tour. It takes you on the Chicago River. You get right in the buildings. They give you wonderful narration, history. I'll give you a quick tip because I do Chicago
Okay,
tours as well.
sure.
But a poor man's architectural tour, which probably costs around $60, I would imagine, the architectural tour, something like that. The poor man's architectural tour is simply take the water taxi, which
Hmm.
also goes on the river, doesn't have any narration or anything, but you're in the buildings and it costs about $5 or $6.
Wow, that's a
Uh,
great tip. Thank you.
yeah,
I
so
love it.
just a little tip there.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Much appreciated.
I think probably just persistence and just keeping at it. As I mentioned, I opened my business right before 9/11. That was tough. My restaurant business in downtown Chicago. Then when I started the photography business, where I was teaching people how to use their cameras, and then doing walking tours where we could go out into the local area and photograph. Then I started doing half day trips within Southern California, full days, then weekends to Death Valley and Joshua Tree National Park. Then I started bringing groups back to Chicago so I could get a free trip back to Chicago with guests. And it eventually morphed into now I only do international tours around the world 18 years later. And so,
Yeah. The,
but the persistence, the
mhm.
keeping at it and not giving up. As you can imagine, again, I'm doing this part time until September 2008. And then the next day, we had the financial crisis, and my financial services business was obliterated. So I had to really double down on the photography, but no one had any money because
Mm.
we had the financial crisis. So it was just one thing after another. I burned all the bridges, I burned the boats, and I said, I'm going to make this work one way or another. And that's what I did. And it's funny what you can do when your back's against the wall.
Can you tell us about your industry a little bit? What are the challenges in the industry nowadays? Any updates that you can share with our audience?
Sure. So I'm in the travel industry, and of course, we got just decimated during COVID. As people couldn't even leave their homes, let alone go on a trip or an international tour. And so for about 2 years, my business was completely just obliterated. And so I tried to do what other people were doing, which is pivot and figure out other ways to make a living and how this new industry or the industry was going to change after this incredible event. And so it took a while, but people did come back to travel, of course. I think stronger than ever. But as you can imagine, for a year or two, people were just making up for trips that they missed during the pandemic.
Mhm.
So that lasted another year or so that people weren't organized, wanting to do new trips. So it was a tough 2.5 years there. But I stuck with it, persevered, and said, I'm going to make this work one way or another. Another thing I did was I got all my expenses down. So, to make money in business, you can either increase sales or you can get your expenses down, and hopefully you do both.
Mhm.
So I was doing that, and so I've got a business. It's a one-man business. I can work pretty much anywhere that my computer is, and everything's organized online. So that's
Mhm.
really nice. And, a lot of people were saying, okay, I'm not going back into the office and things like that after COVID. Well, I never had an office other than the world. And so, in that sense, I was able to pivot fairly easy, but, still just kind of working my way back into it, almost 6 years later.
Okay, one of the popular subjects in the American business podcast is AI. How do you see the impact of AI on business nowadays?
Yeah, it's been a great help for my business. I have to create a lot of itineraries and trip descriptions, and they need to be SEO friendly and keyword rich, and I can put something like that into. I typically use ChatGPT, or now I'm using a lot more Google Gemini,
Mhm.
and so I can take past itineraries or any information I have about a trip and ask AI to put together an itinerary, day to day itinerary, with certain features, blah, blah, blah. And it will put that together immediately for me. Even changing the dates on a trip, say from last year
Mhm.
to the next year, was always a hassle, especially when you have to change 14 dates and days, et cetera. And it does it immediately. So it's been an incredible time saver for me. It's made my writing better. I used it to create my recent books and my Mindful and Intentional Traveler series. Um, I'm all about, writing my own work,
Mhm.
but AI helps so much and can give us such a head start. And I think it's silly not to use it just to try to be a purist. I think there's so much information there, and it's so helpful that we must take advantage of it.
In your experience, what are the best marketing practices for the highest ROI?
For me, it has always been public speaking, and that's something that I don't often get paid for it, but I get a high return because it's my business of photography and travel is so visual that I can create slideshows. I teach a lot of travel photography tips, so I could show examples, good and bad. Um, but what I like to do is get in front of people that I think would be interested in photography and travel. Those are camera clubs, travel groups and clubs, other organizations, but everyone is some sort of a photographer. We've all got these digital cameras in our pockets. Most people have an interest in travel, whether it's domestic or international. But I found that I wanted to get in front of those people, show them my photography, give them a sample of my personality, because I lead all my trips, or I have in the past. Now I'm organizing trips for people that they can go on their own dates when they want with their own group, and I don't go with them. But typically, my trips, people had to come with me on my trips, and I was there. So I had to consider that. Now I organize trips for people that just want to go on their dates with their own families. It could be a lot less expensive if I don't have to be on the trip. but that public speaking worked out really well. I got involved with a group of travel shows here in the U.S. where I, for the past 15 years, have spoken at the travel and adventure shows throughout the U.S. and was able to get in front of hundreds of people that would be interested in that might be interested in my trips. They were obviously interested in travel and photography because they came to my talk at the show. And then, so that's a very hot audience. And then I would collect email addresses from everyone. And the way I did that, because a lot of people, when they speak, another tip is when people speak, they tend to maybe put up a QR code on the screen and say, join my mailing list, or they'll put up their URL of their website. But you might get 2 or 3 people that actually go through with that. But what I did, and maybe I've got 100 people in my audience, I'll pass out a piece of paper to everyone. They can give me their email address. Everyone gets an ebook version of my one of my books. So everyone wins something. So that gives them incentive to give me their email address. And then I give out free prizes at the show, maybe physical books or camera bags, things like that. So this is a great way that I built my email list. Absolutely, was public speaking.
Yeah, this is really informative. Thank you for sharing these insights with us.
If I can say one other thing,
Sure.
another form of public speaking that I did that was very helpful was initially I started teaching at the local, when I was living in Southern California, city of Newport Beach, the city of Huntington Beach, Saddleback College, University of California, Irvine Extension Program, places like this that you don't require a teaching degree, but you can go and number one, test the market, see if there's a market for what you want to teach, make your mistakes teaching with smaller groups of people so that when you get in front of bigger people, more groups of people, you can be better and more professional. But that's a great way to test your idea and get in front of people and make your mistakes, is to teach at local adult education programs.
Okay, role models. Have you had any role models, any mentors who help you shape your career journey over the years?
I would say no, actually. No, like physical role model, someone that, helped me learn this business or anything to teach me. But there are other people with businesses in the travel industry that I looked up to see what they were doing. Of course, I always looked at the competition. But that's one thing I regret, is that I never did have any real role models, because I think there's very high value in having someone who's been through what you want to go through to help you, navigate that and to not make as many mistakes. I've read a lot of business books and things like that, tried to learn from other people's mistakes. I've always thought that was a great thing to do, is learn from other people's mistakes. Why should I make my own? Although we all make our own mistakes as well. So I think that's a great way.
Key career lesson. If there is one key career lesson that you learned the hard way, what would it be that you can share with us?
Yeah, is resilience, perseverance, and certainly the pandemic and the financial crisis. Those are 2 big things that I lived through. One of them actually kickstarted me into the business, the financial crisis. It's when I went from part-time to full-time, because I said I'm going to burn the bridges. And then, the pandemic was something that made me realize that I could survive this, especially because I got my expenses down. And having been in the restaurant business, where you have a physical space, employees, etc., leases, that's a very difficult situation to be in. So doing what I did was the right thing to do for me.
We have a little tradition in the American Business Podcast. So I have a question for you coming from our previous guest. and I'll ask you that question. After that, I'll ask you to leave me a question in this episode. I'll ask your question to our coming guest.
Sure.
All right. So the question coming from our previous guest is, what is your hobby that you have that has no connection to your work?
Ooh, that's a tough one because so many things are related to travel.
Yes.
Like I enjoy reading.
Mhm.
I enjoy watching YouTube videos, movies, but they all tend to have to do with travel and
Okay.
exotic places and things like that. I love music. I guess music's a hobby. Maybe, kind of really doesn't have anything to do with travel.
Uh-huh.
Uh, although, of course, it's always with me. But I like to listen to a lot of podcasts that are about small business. So that maybe that's outside of travel, but I like travel podcasts as well.
Yeah, this is really good. Yes, that's a great answer. Well, what question you like to leave with me today for our next guest?
Let's see. I wrote a book a while back. It's called Niche: Question Your Way to Finding Yours. And in that book, I ask a question. I didn't come up with this question. I wish I had.
Mhm.
But I ask, what would you have to do if you didn't have to do anything?
Okay, we'll make sure to ask the question in the
And
next episode.
it's a profound question. You have to think about it. And the idea is, what would you have to do if you didn't have to do anything? So your financial situation's fine, your personal situation, everything's fine. You don't have to do anything. So in that situation, what would you be compelled to do? That sort of teases out what you're truly interested in and what your niche might be. So that's the basis of that question.
Yeah, I love this question. I'm taking my note right now, so this is good. So I'll be ready for the episode 157. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so all right, the question is ready for the next guest. All right, I spelled it out, so this is good.
Good.
Any question that you would like to ask me in this episode?
What made you start the American Business Podcast?
Okay, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. I watch a lot of business-related podcasts on YouTube and other social media channels. So I've been watching and observing what they are doing, what they are sharing, and I didn't see any podcasts doing what I'm doing right now in the American business podcast. Either they are too niche in a very focused industry, which is fine. This is their style. I've seen a lot of political podcasts. So they talk about business, but they always move it to the politics in some way, somehow. So that's their style, which is fine. I was looking for something, which is flexible with variety of business content and non-political and educational, which I couldn't find. I was like, okay, why don't I start one then? So it took me some time to find that angle. But as soon as I started it, it really took off because the market obviously was waiting for it, and business community really supported us, and they are still supporting in different forms, as sponsorships, advertising, and having this type of informative conversations. And so far, it's doing well. So my goal was to, from day one, to promote, support, and uplift American businesses, non-profits, manufacturers, and the business community. That was our goal from day one. It never changed, and it will never change. That's our main mission. That's what drives us every single week.
Fantastic. Congratulations. I know how hard it is to start a podcast and a YouTube channel. Good
I
for you.
appreciate it. Yes, thank you. What is your career advice for the next generation professionals?
I'm a big proponent of saving, so investing and just letting time, grow your savings and your investments. So invest now. Don't wait. Someday never comes. As someone who's a little bit older, I'm 62 years old. I am much more appreciative of the time that I have left. When we're young, we tend to think that, we'll never die, that, everything's going to be great forever. But as you get older, you realize that's not the case. And a little bit about my books, my Mindful and Intentional Traveler series. I'm realizing how important it is to be present, to simply appreciate and be grateful for where you are now, and to stop, look, listen, smell, touch, taste your surroundings every now and then, especially when you're traveling, to appreciate, to soak them in, and to appreciate where you are and how lucky you are to be there.
So about your business, you mentioned about international trips and tours that you mentioned. So can you tell us about a little bit which countries are popular nowadays and which ones to consider to visit and travel?
Yeah, so I recently got to Antarctica about 2, 3 years ago, and so that's like my new niche, my new specialty. That in Patagonia. I've got a couple of incredible companies that do trips down there. Uh, they're not inexpensive trips, but these are once in a lifetime bucket list
Unique,
trips.
very
Yeah,
unique.
very
Yes,
unique.
yes.
And we fly down to Antarctica, fly to and from Antarctica.
From
Yeah,
where? Like, just
from
out of curiosity.
Punta Arenas, Chile. So it's less than 2-hour flight, and you're down there, and you spend 5 nights on the ship, and then you come back. It's absolutely fantastic. But
Yeah.
other places that are sort of up and coming, Republic of Georgia, which is right next to you over there, in Turkey,
Yes.
where you're from. Yeah,
Yes,
Republic
sir.
of Georgia, Armenia. I do trips there. I love the Bhutan, Nepal, Vietnam, Cambodia, and also all of Europe. I'm a big, huge Europe fan, especially Spain.
Mhm.
So I'm looking to potentially move over to Spain at some point.
Ah, wow. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Good.
So if people want to find out more about what I do, they can go to continentaldrifter.co, and check out my everything's there. All my trips, my YouTube channel, my books, everything. So continentaldrifter.co.
Okay, this is good. This is good. Well, Ralph, that's been a great conversation, very informative and colorful. Thank you very much for being with us in the American Business Podcast, and thank you for sharing your professional insights and wisdom with us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you very much. I wish you a great week and hope to be in touch. Thank you. And to our audience and to our listeners, thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for watching. We'll be right back after a short break. Thank you. Would you like to listen to music during your work time? We are here to help. We created ABP Office Music Pod, powered by the American Business Podcast. ABP Office Music Pod is for you, the working professional. You can enjoy jazz, lo-fi, smooth jazz, classic music, and more during your work time. We keep the music positive and energetic. You can go to the YouTube channel of the American Business Podcast, or you can scan this QR code and start listening right away. There is more coming in the American Business Podcast, and this is one of them. Enjoy ABP Office Music Pod during your work time, and thank you very much for your support. Would you like to start your business podcast? We are here to help. My name is Kevin Devecioglu. I am the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. When we started the American Business Podcast on February 28, 2025, we had only one mission in mind: to promote, support, and uplift American businesses, nonprofits, manufacturers, and the American business community. Within our first 6 months, we managed to pass 100,000 YouTube subscribers, and we received YouTube Silver Award. This is an important award. It shows our dedication to American business and to the American Business Podcast viewers, subscribers, and American Business Podcast community. Now you can have your own branded company podcast within the American Business Podcast network. You can promote your company, your products, your services, and you'll have instant visibility in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast viewers, subscribers, and followers. You can promote your company, your products and services. You can educate and inspire businesses and individuals. More importantly, you can tell your story, your brand story. How did you get started? What makes you different? And how you are helping your customers and communities. As you know, in the American Business Podcast, I've been talking to more than 100 American businesses. Each business has a story that is inspiring and motivational. I know your business also has a great story which is motivational and inspiring. It is time for you to have your business podcast within the American Business Podcast network. We help you start your business podcast and we help you grow your business. This is a great opportunity for you to be visible in the marketplace in front of thousands of the American Business Podcast viewers and subscribers. And this is a great opportunity for us to fulfill our mission to promote, support, and uplift American businesses. Please send us an email and let's get the conversation started. It is paas@americanpodcast.tv. Business podcasting as a service, powered by the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. The American Business Podcast is America's fastest growing educational business podcast network in this age of AI. My name is Kevin Devecioglu. I'm the founder and host of the American Business Podcast, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you, working with you, and help you grow your business with your new business podcast. Thank you very much. It is time to sign up for the online monthly networking event, networking and podcasting together. It is called Connection America Business Alliance, partnered and powered by the American Business Podcast. During this unique business networking event, you'll be able to meet with other business professionals. At the same time, you will be in the American Business Podcast in front of thousands of business-minded YouTube subscribers, viewers, and listeners of the American Business Podcast, the voice of American business. Connection America online monthly networking events are interactive. You'll be able to meet with other seasoned business professionals, and at the same time, you'll be able to interact with viewers and audience. That's a unique event. It is because it's podcasting plus networking. If you are in business, you should be networking. And if you're not networking, you are losing business every single day. That is why we created online monthly networking event called Connection America Business Alliance, CABA in short. Scan this QR code and sign up today. When you scan the QR code, you'll see the list of coming monthly online networking events. Pick the one that works for you and sign up. We have limited seating, and today is the great day to sign up for online business networking event. Networking plus podcasting. That is a unique online business networking opportunity. You can introduce yourself, your products and services, and you'll be able to network with other business professionals live on the American Business Podcast. Scan the QR code and sign up today. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Anywhere Apps by Kirk Consulting, now Cherry Baker. It is time to digitize and automate your business processes. Anywhere Apps designed for small and mid-sized companies as well as enterprise-level companies to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Today, I'd like to talk about one of the Anywhere apps that's very popular in the US. It is called Nonprofit Management Anywhere. If you are a nonprofit and you like to manage your donations, volunteers, fundraising events, your grants, and other documents for compliance and operational purposes, consider Nonprofit Management Anywhere. It is a completely cloud service. You can start using it today with no need for local installation on your server or on your local laptop and computers. It is user-friendly and it's easy to deploy, and you can start using it today. I have the QR code on the screen. You can scan the QR code and you can learn more about Anywhere apps, including Nonprofit Management Anywhere. Well, there is more. If you'd like to talk to me directly about Anywhere apps, you can just send me an email directly, kevin@kirkconsulting.com. Anywhere apps are modern, they are easy to use, they are affordable, practical, and more importantly, that's designed for you to help you digitize and automate your business processes. Scan the QR code or just send me a direct email, kevin@kirkconsulting.com. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Otter AI. Otter is the AI note taker that builds your knowledge and powers your workflow with transcription, automated summaries, AI chat, and more. Get your AI-powered assistant for meeting notes, tasks, and more. Scan the QR code on the screen and sign up today. Otter AI is the latest note taker that you can utilize, and you can set your meetings, you can take your notes, and you can also set up your follow-up actions automatically with the help of the Otter AI. Scan the QR code and sign up today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Invicta watches. Invicta watches are known for their stylish design for men, women, as well as for unisex watches. When you scan the QR code on the screen, it will take to their online store and you can start shopping right away. When you go to the Invicta store website, you'll see watches in different collections for men, for women, different colors, different designs, as well as different sizes. There are hundreds of watches that you can see and you can pick from. Because it's end of the year, you'll also enjoy the benefits of their end of the year promotions and discounts. True story, I'm an Invicta fan. I've been using Invicta for many years. I have more than 10 Invicta watches in my wardrobe. This is one of them that I like. The style is pretty cool. I use these pretty much weekly basis. I have another one that I use on my wrist. This one is pretty cool. This one is called Shutter. I can change the face just by turning the buttons, and I can have different style of watches pretty much every day. Because it's pretty business looking, I can actually wear this with my business outfit as well. Please scan the QR code and start shopping today. I'm sure you'll like Invicta watches. They have great styles and different colors as well as different technologies such as quartz, mechanical, automatic, and other watches are also available for your liking and for your choice. Please scan the QR code and start shopping today. Thank you very much for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Just Answer. Real help from real experts 24/7. Experts such as lawyers, doctors, veterinarians, computer technicians, home improvement experts, mechanics, personal tax experts, computer technicians, and many other experts are available for you 24/7 on Just Answer. You'll get your answers anytime, during the day, during the night, 24/7, and you'll get your answers from reliable sources. You can scan the QR code on the screen and you can sign up for Just Answer. The answers you need at a price that is right. Scan the QR code and sign up for Just Answer today. Thank you for your support. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Wizen. At the American Business Podcast, we always talk about continuous improvement and professional development. That is why we partner with Wizen, trust the nation's largest network for tutoring. Wizen helps you find the tutor that you need in many different subjects: chemistry, computer, foreign languages, geometry, English, music, physics, reading, SAT, science, and many more. I have the QR code on the screen that you can sign up and start searching for tutors and enjoy the learning experience and continuous improvement as we always talk about in the American Business Podcast. Scan the QR code and sign up for Wizen today. Thank you very much. Support for the American Business Podcast comes from Reddit. Do you know the biggest challenge nowadays for American small businesses? That is visibility. That's why we partner with Reddit for Business. Reddit has more than 400 million weekly visitors. Furthermore, Reddit is reliable. Reddit is the number one source for real reviews on products, services, and brands. There is a promotion going on. When you spend $500, you'll get $500 in ad credit from Reddit. True story. I am a Reddit user. Anytime I need feedback or review for a product or service, I go to Reddit. I get the real answers, real feedback from real people, from Reddit communities. Scan this QR code and sign up for Reddit advertising for your business. Get the visibility for your company, your products, and services. Scan the QR code and sign up today. Thank you for your support. Support for the show comes from Yelp. You know, I've been talking to more than 100 business owners in the American Business Podcast. Do you know the biggest problem for small businesses nowadays? It is visibility. That is why you should sign up and list your business on Yelp for Business. I have the QR code on the screen, and when you scan the QR code, the form will show up on your screen and you can sign up on the registration form. It comes with free trial with no obligation. Make it easy for your customers to find you. Do you know there are more than 70 million customers visiting Yelp website looking for services from businesses just like yours? Restaurants, home services, professional services, and many other businesses are being searched on Yelp on daily basis. That's a great opportunity. If you list your business on Yelp, you'll be findable, searchable, and you'll be visible. When you are visible, when your customers are able to find you, you're in business. You can get opportunities, you can get leads, you can build a healthy and profitable pipeline. Consider Yelp for Business. Scan the QR code, sign up, and start your free trial. It comes with free trial. Very comfortable, no obligation. List your business and start getting the results and enjoy the benefits of Yelp Business. Thank you for your support. Thank you for being with me in the American Business Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest in the American Business Podcast, please send us an email, guestbooking@americanpodcast.tv. If you'd like to sponsor ABP, if you'd like to advertise in our podcast episodes, please send us an email, growyourbusiness@americanpodcast.tv. You can advertise your company, your products, your services, and your brands in the American Business Podcast. please send us an email. growyourbusiness@americanpodcast.tv. You can also visit our website, americanpodcast.tv, to learn more about the American Business Podcast as well as our coming streaming schedule. Now you can have your branded company podcast within the American Business Podcast network. We call it Business Podcasting as a Service, PaaS. If you're interested in starting your business podcast in the American Business Podcast Network, please send us an email, paas@americanpodcast.tv. As part of our international expansion, we started international podcast editions. When you scan this QR code, it'll take you to our YouTube page. And please go to the podcast section in our YouTube page and you'll see our international podcast editions. They are ABP Espanol, ABP German, ABP French, ABP Hindi, ABP Portuguese, and ABP Turk, that you can listen to American Business Podcast in 6 different foreign languages. Okay, well, we are in the process of increasing our presence in social media. If you're on LinkedIn, please scan this QR code and subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn. If you're on TikTok, please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our TikTok page. Please subscribe. Please follow us. If you are on Instagram, please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our Instagram page and please subscribe. If you are on Facebook, we'll also appreciate your help and support. Please scan this QR code. It'll take you to our Facebook page and please follow us. And finally, we are on IMDb, next to other reputable media productions. Please scan this QR code, go to our IMDb page, and please rate us on IMDb. We'll truly appreciate your help and support. I'd like to thank you for your help. Thank you for your support. I'm looking forward to seeing you in coming the American Business Podcast episodes. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. The American Business Podcast, America's fastest growing educational business podcast network in this age of AI. Thank you very much for your help and looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.